Me. I. You. Ma. Ma. I need like Sharpay Evans warm ups.
And here's to the beginning.
I'll drink to that.
Why, Johnny Ringo.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
I know exactly what I'm doing, and I can change it at any time.
I'm your huckleberry.
An outlaw loose and running came the whisper from each lip, and he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip.
Incoming the Rambling Podcast, with your hosts, Conway Chats and Stoney Robbins.
Hello and howdy. Hey, cowpokes. Welcome back to another episode of the Ramblin' Podcast. I'm your host, Conway Chats, and right now this will be quite a handful of episodes that are going to be solo, so it'll be just me. Stoney is taking a break from just kind of all the content for right now, and it's good to take breaks, and that's totally fine. So these next handful episodes will be just me, of me rambling, talking into the universe like a fucking psychopath. And I'm actually quite nervous to do an entire episode by myself. Not that I can't, I talk all the fucking time, and I talk to myself quite a bit. Just not having Stoney laugh, you know, or even just say little things in between. It's just gonna be weird to try to stop myself and not go in a circle or continue to just ramble. But I guess that's the whole point of what we're doing. But welcome back. We are on episode 31. Quite crazy. And yeah, like I said, it'll be some solo episodes. I think I got like 5 episodes by myself. We're just gonna give, like I said, give Stoney a nice little month off of not having to create or do anything. Sometimes, like I said, you need those breaks. I take those breaks usually at the end of every year. I take like an entire month off and I go I black out basically, in a sense of I don't use any social medias, I don't get on anything. I don't create any new content. I don't do anything literally for an entire month. I give myself and my brain an entire break of like not having to worry about something 24/7 all the time. And Tony's still new to this. I've been doing this for it'll be 8 years in the fall. So I'm used to content creating and kind of trying to, always do something amongst balancing like the jobs that I had at the time too. And it really is difficult. I find it hard sometimes to try to stay focused on what's going on when you feel like you have 5 other million things going on. So yeah, when you're new to it, you got to give yourself a break more times than not, and that's something I wish I would have learned very early on into this is giving yourself a break when you feel like you need it. So yeah, gonna give Stoney a break from listening to me talk all the time on this fucking episode, or on this podcast in general. But yeah, 31. Happy summer, guys. I hope you guys have been doing well. I hope you guys have been loving our recent topics that we've been doing. Like I said, with basically Conway's episodes is what we're gonna call them. They're kind of gonna be mainly topics either directed towards me or things that I have uh quite a bit of experience with, and kind of diving into things that not necessarily Stoney doesn't really want to talk about, but something that I can definitely do more in depth and kind of go from there in a sense. Today's topic, obviously from the title, is makeup. I don't really think that's a topic Stoney really cares to listen to or want to talk about. So I figured, what better way if we're going to do some solo episodes to give myself the opportunity to talk about makeup, because that was a requested topic from multiple people. I've had it in my notes since we started the podcast. Like you guys, like I've said before, I have a list of topics and I have them organized in categories of like things that Stoney and I come up with, and then things that are requested by you guys. So I had multiple requests on just talking about makeup in general, whether it's what I use, what I don't use, what I hate, what I loathe, what I love so very much. Um, And I thought, yeah, might as well start off the solo episodes with the makeup topic. Um, and it's kind of this is kind of a I don't want to say a weird topic for me to talk about because I'm extremely comfortable talking about makeup and kind of giving everyone the details on like what to get and what not to get. But it's like to me, it's kind of a sensitive subject, and I'll tell you why. So, like growing up in the time that I think a lot of us did grow up, especially as a female, and even little boys too, or little theys, no matter what gender. Um, it's like it felt like wearing makeup was whorish, like and you were like a hoochie mama wearing just lipstick or eyeshadow as a kid. Like I remember every time I would play with makeup, I always, if I got any makeup, it was always the little kid makeup sets that you could get at Walmart for like $2 on during Christmas times. And it was always like the really crappy makeup, and just it just was not good makeup at all. It was just basically Vaseline and glitter in a sense. Um or my mom would buy the like 50 cent eyeshadows that went on sale that were like the CoverGirl little 2 pack that had different, two different colors in it. And it was always like a black and a blue set. That was always the one that I had, was these like little tiny 2 eyeshadows, and that's it. And then you would have like the roller balls of lip gloss that have like the roller ball on it. I'm actually holding one right now. Um since then there's been a quite a revival of nostalgia makeup coming out, and I've been absolutely obsessed with. I think it's great. I have the ColourPop's Powder Puff Girls rollerball set, and I have one of Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. I'm currently holding Buttercup in my hands right now. Um, but looking at it, it's just this. It's literally a rollerball up top, and it glides over your lips, and then you'd have um Smucker's chapstick that tasted like s'mores or strawberries or Dr. Pepper. Like you had all these kind of very fruity dessert type makeup that was kind of drawn to children in a sense. And I know every time that I would put makeup on or whatever, I always got the comments of like looking like a hoochie mama just by wearing like red lipstick. Um, and I know a lot of my friends would get yelled at, um, and like get in trouble for wearing uh lipstick at all. Say to like middle school or something like that, right? And it's just weird because it's like it's literally just this paint that goes on your face for fun. Like it doesn't correlate with being a sex worker, aka a prostitute. We don't like to use that word here. Or a night walker. It's just like it's so weird to me that like th- during that time you have these adults that are shaming children for wearing makeup and comparing them to adult things. And it's just so fucking weird and creepy, and I just have always hated that aspect of like makeup correlates with you being a whore if you wear a lot of it, or even just a different colored lip. You're scandalous and you're promiscuous, and I just find it so fucking odd. It's always been so odd for me in the relationship with makeup. And like my family, the women in my family never really wore a lot of makeup. Like that wasn't really their thing. So growing up, I didn't have anyone to teach me really how to do makeup properly or wear it correctly, because Lord knows it was a disaster um on uh my sides of the family. Just not really having I didn't really have anyone that was like glamorous to look up to. All I had were pop stars and models and magazines and like just artists in general. Um, and even then, it was fairly limited because I also didn't, you know, no much past, the small town atmosphere of chapstick and mascara. And that's fine if that's all you wear. Like, hell, I wear some of that stuff most of the times anyways, when I'm not doing a full face. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have this whole kind of I didn't have an older sister that did makeup during this time. Like, I didn't have anyone like that. It was literally just me discovering my own femininity. You know what I'm fucking trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. But it was just me discovering my feminine side and not really knowing where to go from, what to do with it. It especially growing up in a very like tomboy style lifestyle for sure. Like it just was ingrained in me. Like it just was a very manly environment growing up too. So it just seemed like makeup was a waste, but I really did enjoy it. Like I loved watching the girls in shows and then them just being so glamorous. And I remember it's like watching, Coyote Ugly and watching them dance on the bar top and just being like, "Wow, I want to do that one day. That looks so much fun. They're so cool." Or just all these girls on TV just being such women, just gorgeous. And like I said, I didn't have that. So like that's what I look to kind of tap into my more feminine side. And I feel like that was really hard for me growing up because the most feminine I feel like you could get at that time for me was painting my nails. Um and it's so weird. It's such a weird thing that you kinda have to discover as you go. And as I got older and hit puberty and stuff, you start developing the feelings of trying to wanna impress people that you like, girls or guys. Um, and you wanna start dressing a little nicer and smelling good, not stinking and being a little goblin mess, and I wore I would say I finally at that time, like the moment I was able to shave my legs, which took a while, um, was when I could start wearing more makeup. And at that time, I started wearing more eyeliner. I kind of got into the more scene makeup styles. And I loved the girls with the bright um their bright raccoon dyed hair and cheetah spots on it, and it's like pink and purples and blues and it's teased. And I thought that was so fucking cool. I thought it was so cool. They're like really big winged liner, and I loved the gothic look too. I thought goth looks were so cool because the makeup was so cool, but everyone was like, "Oh, those are a bunch of fucking weirdos, blah blah blah." But it's like, no, like that's art on their face. That's so fucking good, right? And then at this era too, you're in this Y2K era of pencil thin eyebrows and glossy lips and eyeshadows, but you're not like having makeup. So I loved the scene, this like scene look, the emo scene look. I loved the raccoon eyes and like I said, all the colored hair. I wasn't allowed to dye my hair or do any of that. So like I would have to like swoop. I wasn't allowed to really cut my hair either. So I had to like swoop half my hair across my head to like give me the look of bangs. And then I would just have eyeliner on the top of my eyes and then like under my eyes. And at this time, um, I think it was just whatever was the cheapest eyeliner I could get, which is probably like a Wet n Wild eyeliner at the time. They were probably like 98 cents. Um, and I would use that, and that's what I used for like the first year of really kind of experimenting with makeup. And at this time, I still didn't wear lipstick because I thought lipstick made you a whore, which was like my own growing up thinking of like that's just what everyone told me. So I just never did it, right? And this time too, you don't have YouTube people really kind of the makeup community is not really there yet. Like there wasn't anyone I was watching on how to do makeup. It was mainly, skits and parodies and music stuff on YouTube. Um, so once again, I'm not really knowing how to properly do anything. It's just eyeliner and doing my hair. I wasn't really allowed to have MySpace either, so I wasn't really able to look up people on my own time. So when I was with my friends, I'd be, on their MySpaces and I'd be looking at the girls of like, that were running the pages and they just looked so cool, the older kids. I was just like, wow, I just want to be like them, They're so pretty looking. Um and at this time too, the popular trend was the concealer over the lips. So like no one really even fucking wore lipstick anyways. You wanted to have a completely nude lip, which was also blows my mind. Like fucking nude lips. I hate nude lips so much. It bothers me. Like there's all these colors in the world and you're choosing to put a flesh tone color on your lips to make your lips non-existent. Literally, I'm pretty sure it was CoverGirl's concealer stick. And like not really like the lightest shade, but like whatever was close to your skin tone at the time. And you would just rub it on your lips and your lips would be non-existent. And that just like blows my mind, being like that look was so horrendous. And no one did their eyebrows at this time. Like no one did their eyebrows. You would have maybe some eyeshadow, definitely concealer lips. And if you wore foundation at this time, you also had foundation that did not match your neck at all. It was like 15 shades too dark for you? And so I wasn't allowed to wear foundation. Yeah, I still wasn't really allowed to wear a lot of makeup. So I could get away with eyeliner and maybe like chapstick. So I still couldn't even wear like mascara yet. And then as I got through middle school, I kind of switched my makeup look up a little bit because I kind of, every year makeup kind of changes and develops, and every decade it's totally different. I started wearing, I've kind of covered this in my middle school episode of the podcast that we did. There's a middle school episode Stoney and I did together. It was quite hilarious. We talk about what we did and what we looked like, and it's quite funny. But I wore this bright green glittered eyeshadow every day of 8th grade, every single day of 8th grade. I didn't do my eyebrows, but I wore mascara and I wore lip gloss. Or I would wear this L'Oreal, or no, it was a Wet and Wild like mauve type color because I was never into pinks because I knew pink would make your teeth look yellow if you didn't, have the nicest teeth. Or you didn't have like the whitest, whitest of white. Your pink would make your mouth look a little weird. But it was like this mauve, I want to say rosy, like a rosy mauve color that I wore too. So this bright green glitter eyeshadow with mascara and then this like lipstick. And that's like what I wore every day of 8th grade. Every single day of 8th grade. That's what I wore. And that was like my, limit of that. And then once I got into high school, it's really where I started my makeup journey of being allowed to kind of do whatever I want. And I kind of was learning from the other older kids that I would see. But then also, like I said, I grew up in a small town. So, like, there's not these people who are just glamorous people. They're just these small town, kids. Um, so I didn't grow up in a big city where like the trends hit really fast. Usually the trends are like always 5 to 6 years behind. Um, and I would kind of watch on TVs of, how to do things. And this is also when kind of the makeup community started to grow on YouTube. So we started to get makeup tutorials, but this wasn't the like highlight of the makeup culture in general. This is also just when Instagram started came about too. So it's when people started posting their makeup looks. I know when I was in high school, I was posting all my makeup looks, and I I had to unfortunately have to delete all pictures of me um pre-high school or in high school, like pre-18, because creeps out there. I've already kind of touched on based on that. But I don't have anything public, and I can't because I'm under 18 and I don't want to put my, under 18 self out there on the internet, even if it's just a normal photo. People are crazy, like I said. Um so I used to post my makeup looks on my Instagram all the time, and like I remember when I was filtering through my stuff to like kind of archive it and not have it on my page anymore. Uh I was like, "Oh my god, I thought these were looks and they were just horrendous." Oh my god, they were so bad. So my makeup routine got a lot heavier by like ninth grade when I started high school. I was able to actually wear like foundations and everything else under the sun. Like I was starting to actually be able to wear makeup now that I was, I was becoming an adult. I was in high school now. I was a cool person in my brain, right? That's what I thought. So at this time too, uh I'm pretty sure it was the CoverGirl uh Dream Matte Mousse or something like that. It was the Matte Mousse foundation. Um and it was like putty. Oh my god, the texture. If you've worn it, you know exactly what it is. Like you can still smell it. But I would put that shit all over me. And at this time, a lot of us didn't know to blend down the neck, so our cutoff was right underneath our jaw. So you would be able to tell the complete difference from like the foundation to normal skin. And this was what everyone used. Everyone used this foundation because it was, a drugstore brand. It was popular. It was just like what all the other girls or influencers or stuff, quote unquote, because I didn't really exist yet. But what people were wearing. Oh my god, yeah, the smell of it is just so crazy too. And I would rub it all over my face, just all over my eyebrows, all over my lips, like just smear it in with my fingers. Cause then at this time still I didn't really know to use makeup brushes. It wasn't really like I said, I'm learning as I go. I don't know shit. No one's telling me anything. I nothing to Google because no one's doing really tutorials. Um, and I was kind of just using what I could on a budget without, you know, cheap makeup, as cheap as you could get. So I'm rubbing this stuff, and this stuff lasted a while. Um, I would rub this all over my face, and then it would be in my eyebrows. It would be like I was literally wearing a mask because it would come down to my jaw, and it was so thick. It was so thick because I put way too much on. It was so thick. But it's also that was the texture of the makeup in itself too. So like that's also why, Like it was just a thick product. If you know, you know. And then I wouldn't do my eyebrows, but sometimes I would leave the makeup on my lips because that was also the look. Like I said, the concealer look on your lips was big. And then, I started to get into more of eyeshadows. So I bought this really cheap, I don't even remember the brand. It was like before, maybe it was like a BH Cosmetics type of brand because it was still early. The BH Cosmetics is this company that has really cheap makeup, but they have really good eyeshadows because they just have a bunch for cheap. They may not be like the best and the best blendable. They probably have gotten better since then, but at this time, not the greatest, but it was cheap. Um, like I said, any cheap makeup I could get my hands on, that's what it was. And I had all these colors, and I was like, oh, this is wonderful. I'm gonna start putting the eyeshadow on my eyes with the little sponge that came with it. Like I said, I didn't really have brushes, didn't really know what I was doing. It was all like fingers and little sponge applicator things. Um, and then I would look at whatever outfit I was going to wear or that I had on. And I would like put the colors plural on my eyes and like these like striped lines. Like I'd do like red in the inner corner and then like a black in the middle and then like a blue on the outer side. Like whatever colors I was wearing, for example. It would just be in these like lines. Straight up vertical lines. And I just thought that it's so fucking weird. And then I would put like eyeliner. I'd put eyeliner under my under eyes and I'd put it on my, top, just cheap liner and then mascara and then I also, after I did my foundation, I had powder and I used CoverGirl's loose powder. And it was like 3 shades too dark for me. So I was like super tan in the face. And I'm obviously a pretty pale person in general, which is fine. But I had this like super dark face makeup. And then my neck was just white. And my body was white. My hands were white next to my face. And it just looked like a disaster. Um, that was kind of the first kind of jumping into it, and then it was, like, a hassle to get my makeup off too, because there's just, like it felt like there was no good way to get all of my makeup off all the time, and I played sports all the time, so I was just, like, sweating in this full face of makeup, And I was super acne prone already at the stage because you're going through puberty and all your hormones and all this shit. It was just so fucking funny to me. Like, that's just what I did all of the time. And then let's say sophomore year, flash forward, I started to get a little bit better at makeup. The beauty community is kind of coming out with more tutorials. I learned to use brushes at this point in time. I still think I have the same base, or I'm like switching up the base to like a Rimmel London base. Rimmel London was also a semi cheap makeup, so they had a different kind of base. Like the Dream matte mousse or whatever kind of went away, and I used any foundation, any drugstore foundation that had the word matte in it because I was so oily, which I still have very oily skin. Um, was like that. I was like, oh my god, I need to like it needs to be completely soft, no shine. I'm still that way. um And that's what I use. It was like a Rimmel London. It came in this white tube with a purple cap and purple writing on it, like Rimmel London matte foundation or something. Um, and then I kind of dived more into blending eyeshadows a little bit better. At this time, eyebrows were still not really a thing, so I didn't really touch them. So I would have this like full face of makeup. I didn't really ever contouring, I never really did yet still. So I just had this like blush on my cheeks, this too dark foundation, no eyebrows done, and these like different colors on my eyes with, eyeliner. And at this time too, I'm starting to do like winged eyeliner because all of the goth girls and the scene kids always did like a really nice flick eyeliner, and I'm not an artist. I can't draw very well in general. So like that was also a challenge for me to like learning how to get things that were like straight and a sharp wing. Like I still to this day, you know, practice, and I still not the best, but it's way better than it was. Um and the wing liner was like getting there. I was like doing that. So I was doing these like different colors, the mascara, the blush, the foundation, the powder, no eyebrows. That's still where it's going. I'm switching up products, putting a lipstick on every now and then, nothing too crazy. Mainly just kind of like a neutral mauve color like I have been. And then junior year of high school rolls around, and this is about the time where like the makeup community on YouTube is starting to take off. Like the whole makeup culture is really shifting. It's becoming big. Everything's, big and lots of makeup and different designs, and there's all these YouTubers that are coming out with their own brands and yeah, things like that, right? Highlighters becoming a big thing, doing your brows all the way, like super thick uh, brows were a big thing during this time too, and contouring was like super, super big. So now I think I'm getting into like liquid foundation in a sense. So I used to use, um, I think for a couple years from like junior year of high school until like freshman year of college. This is a kind of this makeup routine for myself kind of stays the same. Um, so for my foundation, I used Wet n Wild's Photo Focus foundation, and they were $3 a piece. They smelt like paint, like you were literally putting paint on your face. That's what it smelled like. But they were so good. And there was never really my shade, so I bought the lightest of light shade, and then I bought like a little bit of a lighter shade. So I would mix those together on my hand, and this time too, you're learning to use a sponge. So I had a sponge at this point. And I'm putting the makeup on with with a sponge. But yeah, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, it's still a really good if you're balling on a budget, guys, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. The drugstore, I think it's like it used to be $3.99. It's probably a little bit more now because that's just how the world works. But this foundation was a really, really, really good foundation for oily skin. Just in general, like it was just a really nice coverage if you like full coverage, which I am definitely a full coverage queen when I want to be. Um, and that was my favorite. And then at this time too, Cody Airspun was a big deal. I still use Cody Airspun, except for now it has, I think, talc in it. So you have to hold your breath when you pat it all over your face because you don't want to inhale that. I definitely need to switch to another powder, but it's been my tried and true for fucking years. You know, like I've been using that Airspun for almost 10 years. It's such a good Airspun. It's definitely a drag queen trick that I learned very early on in my life, and I've been using it ever since. It's such a good powder. Uh smells like the 50s. That's the best way to describe it. It smells like the 50s. It's such a good powder. It doesn't give you the white fat flashback like you do and if you guys don't know what flashback is, it's basically when you take a photo um and with the flash on at night, and then you can see the super white, and people, you mainly could notice it like when people put concealer under their eyes and then they put powder underneath their eyes too. If you take a photo with flash and then you can only see like white underneath these people's eyes, that's flashback. Those are like powders and stuff that have too much of a white flashback. But I use the translucent Cody Airspun at this time, still do. And it doesn't give your face that flashback. It gives it a nice seal. That's the best way I can describe it, is like it just seals your foundation to your skin in such a beautiful way. It's great. I love it. So at this time, I'm using Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I'm using the Cody Airspun powder. I'm using, probably at this time, I'm using like a CoverGirl blush with brushes. So I bought like a cheap brush set, nothing crazy. Um, and I kind of learned like that. Contouring still, like I didn't really dive into that too much. I was still just focused on the blush, the foundation, the powder. I was really trying to get my eyebrows done at this point in my life. So like everyone's big giant deal was the Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade. I still to this day use the pomade because it's just so good, especially when you don't have any brows. Like every female on my side of the family just has really, really thin brows. So I don't have the greatest genetics on that. My brows are pretty thin. Um, but the pomade is such a good uh eyebrow thing for when you have, just you don't really have a lot of hair there. It kind of livens it up, and that's what I use. So like at this time, the brows were a really big thing. So like towards the end of junior year, it's kind of when things like started getting more brow related. And all of these makeup companies came out with brow products and all this stuff. So I'm starting to learn how to like fill in my eyebrows. Nothing too crazy, but I'm at least like learning how to do it. They probably looked insane, but still the purpose of just practicing. And also winged liner was getting even bigger. So I was you pretty much every makeup look that I had, I was doing some sort of winged liner. I was never like really crazy with the like eyeshadows in general. I was just like, "Oh, what colors am I wearing? All right, I'm putting those colors on." Like there was never a technique to my eyeshadow at this point still. Um and I remember like at this time in my life, I never really went anywhere unless it was like for sports. I never went anywhere without a full face of makeup. And like at this time in my life, I genuinely thought I looked ugly without makeup on. And to me, like, that's so sad because I feel so good without makeup on. Some days, some days you have bad days where you just fucking, you're like, God. But you know what I mean? Like, at this time in my life, I felt so ugly without makeup on because I would see all these girls that just had full faces on and they were just like popping. And I felt like I got more compliments with my makeup on than I did without my makeup on. And that like really fucked with my, fucking 16-year-old self just trying to navigate the world and be a fucking female and not understanding that a lot of it is a male gaze, and you don't know this shit until you get older, and it's so frustrating. I remembered I got bullied all of the time for wearing makeup too. There was like the girlies that fucking loved it because they were like, they loved a good full face, they loved a good makeup look, blah blah. And then there was like the people, whether it was male or female, that would make fun of it and call me cake face, um, or they'd make the joke of like, put a makeup wipe on her, it'll come off, go get in a pool. Like, the shitty things that teenage boys say, and teenage girls deal with, um, and all that shit. But like I admit like it was a lot of makeup, but like that's just like what I liked and what I liked doing at the time. So like I said, some of them were the cool people that I still talk to nowadays in life that didn't care and they thought, "Oh, that's so cool that you can do your makeup like that. I can't do like that." But 95% of the times it was the mascara chapstick queens that were fucking shitting on me for doing it or even trying. And a lot of it were the guys bullying me because they just I have a whole episode I want to talk about high school boys. It'll just be my high school series in general. I think that's what Stoney and I are going to start back when he comes back into the podcast again in a couple more episodes. I think we're giving him like a month off, so he'll come back in like August. I think that's when we'll do our high school series, and then I can really dive into like what high school was like for me because it fucking sucked. But anyways, I was just getting bullied so much for having the makeup and having it on and a lot of stuff, and I just really at the point of not knowing I was autistic at that moment, like, I knew I was always so different than everybody else, like, I didn't care as much because I just was doing something I really liked, so I really always had the mindset of, like, "You're just normal, and I don't wanna be normal, so, like, fuck you," you know? Like, I never wanted to be a normal human, I always wanted to be different, and not in a different of, like, "Give me attention, blah, blah, blah." It's just, like, I knew I always was going to do something, uh, different and alternative with my entire lifestyle, like, I didn't wanna live in that small town anymore, I didn't wanna get married right after high school, I didn't wanna do this, I didn't wanna do that, I didn't wanna have 40 kids, like, it was not my gig. So I looked up to all of the I'm not gonna call them influencers because, like I said, the influencer culture is just kind of starting. But I looked up to people that were living their lives and traveling around the world and, they're testing out makeup products and they're doing this and they're doing that, and that just was, like, such a big thing to me. Like, I just really enjoyed being glamorous, and the best way I could explain it is, like, anything Dolly Parton fucking says. Anything Dolly Parton says. Especially when she's always like, you know, "That's the town trash." And it's like, "Well, I look really good for being trash." Um, Kind of thing like that to where it's just like all of these people just didn't like somebody that was very into glamour or outfits and fashion and stuff like this. Like it was just a small town bullshit, right? And I really did enjoy this is kind of like where I started. Like I've always loved outfits and fashion, but like this is kind of where I started wanting to get into it more and wear different things. But also it's like I go to this bumfuck town in this school with the same people I've been going to like my entire life. I don't really like need to impress anybody. I don't care. But also we had to dress up every now and then for events. So I would like dress up. Like this was also a fucking weird thing. It's like we had to wear business clothes or super nice clothes for like basketball games. If we were like playing a home game, we were supposed to wear like business outfits. So like all the girls wore heels and like skirts and pantyhose and some sort of top and or a jacket with it, and it was just so fucking weird to me that we had to get dressed up and like wear these outfits for a fucking home game that we probably were gonna fucking lose anyways. But do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the guys would do it too, like they'd have to wear like suits or button up and a tie or just a button up and shorts or not shorts but like khakis and like nice dress shoes. It was just fucking weird to me. Like it was just like that's such a weird I don't fucking know. It doesn't make sense. We're not in goddamn college. But anyways, this was kind of when I started wearing like outfits that I wanted to wear. So like I remember I had this outfit. Zebra print was really big at this time too. I wore this one out for I wore this black pencil skirt with black pantyhose and I wore these zebra pumps. Not like a heel not like heels. I've always loved heels. I've always loved high heels, platform shoes, like the bigger the better. I was always into it. But if you wear those shoes, you get called a stripper, a whore, trashy, blah blah blah. All the words you can think of, that's what it was. Um, and I wore these zebra print heels with the pantyhose, the black the black pencil skirt, this zebra dress top, business dress top. And that's what I wore one time. And I did my hair real curly. And this is like when I was like also starting into like knowing how to do my hair because no one ever taught me how to do it either. So like I said, I was learning how to do everything by myself. No one was telling me how to do shit at all. So I was always like curling on my hair and always had like a little clip. The makeup, full face of makeup, and you would think that I was like 27 going to a fucking 9 to 5 job in the outfit that I had. Like Jesus. But that's one of the outfits I definitely remember for sure is the zebra print outfit. And so junior year it's the same kind of routine. We're getting more into eyebrows. Eyebrows are starting to like be filled in. They're very blocky, um, somewhat big. And that's kind of the look everyone's going for. So senior year of high school rolls around and I start like at this point I'm like, I'm about to become an adult. So I'm gonna start like not necessarily caring, but kind of doing more of what I want. So at this time too, I think I have kind of the same foundation routine, the same powder. My eyeshadow is getting a little bit better. I'm learning how to like blend eyeshadow a little bit more and put the colors where they're supposed to go. My winged liner is getting better. I'm learning to contour a little bit. Not too much, mainly just like the nose contour for sure. I didn't really do anywhere else yet. And then I started wearing like lipsticks, like different colored lipsticks with outfits. And that's kind of like what I started to do. Then I started dressing how I wanted to dress. I started dressing with different outfits and like wearing things um to school rather than just like sweatpants, fucking, sports sweats and a hoodie that they gave us or we had to wear on those days. So like I was trying to like dress a little cuter because I just really enjoyed doing that at this moment in time. And this is when the beauty community is really getting its like way on YouTube. It's very popular, the Manny MUA, the Jeffree Star, the Tati Westbrook, the James Charles at this time, before they're all go crazy, the Nikki tutorials. Like all of these people are really big on YouTube and that's kind of like when you start learning more and more of how to do things. Mind you, I still don't have a lot of money for makeup, so I'm not getting to like buy all these things. I'm just kind of buying things here and there. And I didn't really know about expired makeup either. So I just used something until it was completely out. Like I'm still very guilty of doing this to this day, is like using my makeup until it is literally out, even though I probably had it for like 3 fucking years. You know what I mean? So with the eyebrows, the Anastasia Beverly Hills was so expensive, so I wasn't really able to get it at the time. So Elf, which is also really good, really, really, really good drugstore makeup brand is Elf. They had this eyebrow set that had a pomade and a powder and a little mirror and a little eyebrow brush inside. I still to this day have this Elf eyebrow pomade little I forget what they're called. Oh my god. A compact. There we go. This little compact, right? I still have this. There's nothing in the little trays inside this compact, but the mirror is absolutely impeccable. I don't know what it is about it, but I can literally do my mascara so well on there. I can do my eyebrows so well with this little square compact. I think they still sell it, but it is just so fucking good. I don't know how to explain it. It just is so, so, so good. It's probably because I've been using it for so long and I've never used anything else to do my eyebrows on. It's just I can see perfectly. I can see the details. It's not like super up close. Like you can really only see your eyebrows. It's like where you put it, it's perfect. It's fucking great. So that's what I use. That's what I still use to this day. So that's what I did. I used Elf a lot. Um, this time too, we're learning about primers. Gotta put your primers on. So I think at this time I used like an Elf primer, and at this time Elf was still like getting started in a sense of like getting popular. It wasn't like the best quality makeup at this time. Now Elf is like so fucking good. Elf is so great. A lot of their products are so fucking good. But like then they were still like eh. So Um, I used an elf primer. I remember that's when I kind of started getting into primers. So I would use the elf primer. I was still using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. Still using my Coty Airspun powder. I started getting in more into eyeshadow palettes, so I would buy, you know, the 32 colored $10 palettes during, like, Christmas sales or something. Because at this time I had a job too. I was starting to spend some of my money on makeup, um, whenever it wasn't being used for bills or, college things that I needed or trips that I needed to go on or gas money, you know what I mean? And I started diving into, like, more colored makeup and, I was doing more blending with my eyeshadows and kind of watching, like, these YouTube videos of, like, how to do makeup, and I was, like, following along. So, like I said, senior in high school. And that's, like, when I really started, like, taking off with, like, I really enjoy makeup. Like, I really enjoy doing my face all the time. Um, so flash forward to my freshman year in college and my sophomore year of college. Um, I started doing more of my makeup. I really started getting into uh looks, like actual makeup looks. Nothing crazy like professional makeup people can do, but I was just for me, I was like doing it. And at this time I was still a really broke college kids. I didn't really get help very much from at all. So like all the money that I'd make for, working my 2 jobs, I 2 or 3 jobs depending, was either going to my college bills of like paying tuition, books, gas in my car, or rent as well, being off, off campus. So like, starting to become a, being an adult, paying bills, taking care of everything. Groceries, food, things like that, right? So any leftover money that I had that I just was like, "Okay, I need to re-up on my makeup." I started, buying a little bit better quality makeup because it was starting to last a little bit longer. And that's kinda what I did for a while. And it was starting to get to, like, you have a lot of these YouTubers in the makeup community releasing their own makeup at the time, and it was, like, worth more than diamonds. A lot of these makeup brands were just selling out, and they were just doing it. They were really, really, really doing it at this time. And I started diving more into, like, highlighter was, like, a really big thing. Um, and a lot of like, I started to really fall in love with makeup and enjoy putting a full face on and not really worrying too much, about what people think, and just like I said, having fun with it. I was wearing a lot of different colored lipsticks at this time. I was using NYX, NYX. NYX is also a really good, brand. I don't think you can get them at drugstores, but I think you can get them at, like, Ulta. They're a cheaper, brand, not gonna say the cheapest, but they're a cheaper brand, and they came out with these, I love a good liquid lip. Liquid lips are just, like, my shit. I love a good liquid lip. Um, because liquid lips are like lipsticks, but the lipsticks would always come off, and I was always so worried about, like, kissing people or eating, and then it would just, like you would have these, like, lipsticks just smeared all over your face, and for somebody who wore a full face of makeup, that was really, really, really difficult. I didn't want it to smear, I wanted my shit to look good, I wanted it to look set, I was a girly, right? I was like, "Uh." So the most expensive things that I would buy when I would have to re-up on my makeup was the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, because that's what I used and still use to this day. It just sealed your face, it would get me through parties at college, it would last me all through night, my one night stands or sweating or working out or, like, doing whatever, like, it just, like, it stuck, right? So, I'm still using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation at this time, because that's still cheap. I think I would splurge, and I bought the Anastasia Beverly Hill Dip Brow as well. I think the Urban Decay and the Dip Brow, the, ABH Dip Brow were, like, the only 2 things that I really, like, spent a lot of money on, and, like, I think the dip brow is like $30 and the, setting spray is $32. But I'd make it last. The pomade still lasts me, like, a really long time. But the setting spray, like, I would make that last too. So, I started getting into, like, palettes really started coming out of, like, blush palettes, highlighter palettes, things like that. And I remember I think I bought a blush palette from NYX and it had like different colored blushes. So I was like experimenting with this. This is also where I started to really get into contouring the cheekbones, contouring the forehead, underneath the chin, the nose, under the lip. Like this is where I really, really, really dove into contouring. So I would have full face of makeup, eyeshadows looking great and blended, eyeliners still looking like winged eyeliner. I got my mascara. I started contouring. I wore the highlighter. I think a lot of this was like NYX products at this time. And I really started diving into wearing false eyelashes. And for the longest time, I always struggled with wearing false eyelashes, not because they would get in my way, but like my eyes were sensitive to like glues, and I didn't like the Ardell all black glue because then it would just get black all over my fucking eyeshadow that I just spent time doing. And then I found the Kiss aloe vera sensitive eye glue. It's still what I use to this day. It's the only eye glue that I can use to this day. Um, and I would buy um the like 30 pack of cheap eyelashes off Amazon, and I would just wear those. And at this time I didn't know to cut my lashes. I didn't know nothing. I just like stuck the lash out of the box and onto my eye with a glue. And that worked. It probably didn't look the best, but it worked. And that was that. That was my first 2 years of college. So, end of like sophomore year into my junior year of what would have been my junior year of college, um, I started really getting into makeup. This is like probably 2017 at this point. This is like where I really started to get into makeup. I was like, I really enjoy all of these um YouTubers and the beauty community on YouTube. I think I'm gonna, why not? Why not try to make YouTube videos? So at this time too, I'm in a really bad relationship. It is miserable. So this also was kind of my outlet. This is also where I really dove more into my sex work as well. I was doing camming a lot more. So I was camming quite a bit. I was doing, the whole it was like before OnlyFans, so you were doing like Snapchat or just selling nudes, uh, as well. But I was doing a lot of camming at this time. So at this time, I was making enough money from camming and my uh other side work that I was doing that I could quit my 9 to 5 jobs that I have. And technically they weren't 9 to 5s. I had 3 jobs, including that one at this time. It was a lot, and I finally got to a place to where I was able to make enough money to pay my bills and have, like, some extra money, and that was good, so I was like, "Sweet, I don't really even need to have these jobs anymore. I can, do that." So, as I'm like, making a little bit more money with with the side jobs that I'm doing with my camming, um at this time, I was really getting into makeup, so I was like, "Okay, I wanna be a beauty YouTuber, like, I wanna really get into that. I think I'm funny, I think I can present a product well," and I started doing makeup reviews. So, I would go to my, job that started at, like, 5 in the morning, and I got off at, like, 3 to go to classes on most days, or I would have classes all day and then come in after I get off classes, and that was my day. And then at night, when I like before I need to go to bed, like at this time too, I was camming at nights till like 3 in the morning, and then I would get like maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep and then have to go to either class all day or I'd go to work all day and then class. So like my sleep pattern was so off. I was doing so much all of the time. And then on the days that I didn't work, like on the weekends, I was filming, editing, doing more camming because those are the weekends. That's where you make your big money. Yeah, it was a lot. So, like, I started getting more creative with where I worked. I started wearing, uh, more different like, I started kinda trying out different foundations because I had the extra money to kind of, like, buy the nicer makeup, and it was, like, unbelievable for me at this time in my life because I never, like Ulta was kind of like an expensive store that wasn't really like a store we get our makeup at Walmart, you know? Like we don't even go to a Walgreens because it's more expensive there. Like we would go to Walmart and get our my makeup. And going to an Ulta was like a specialty. Um and I got to go to Ulta and I think I spent like $300 at Ulta one time, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy." And I got these like kind of high-end makeups that everyone, all the beauty gurus wear, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. Like I can't wait to go home and try it." And I was so in love with the quality of the makeup too. Like I was just in such awe of like, wow, like this is what it feels like. This is what a foundation feels like a real one, not this $3 foundation, but like this is what it's like. So I remember I bought uh the two foundations that I bought because they were very popular at the time were the Too Faced foundation, and then I bought the Kat Von D uh, foundation as well. Two of the worst foundations I've ever tried in my life, by the way. Highly don't recommend any Too Faced foundation. I highly don't recommend really any Kat Von D products either. I just don't think they're the best quality. I don't think they're great. I think the price is just like meh for what you're getting. Um, and then I got to try the Laura Mercier loose powder, which is like $40 for this 0.32 ounces of powder when your Cody Airspun powder is like 6 ounces for $9. Like I the Cody Airspun is just as good as Laura Mercier. All right, let's just put it there. Don't waste your money on that either. And I felt like since I used so much powder for my entire face, I was going through it so quickly that was just it's not worth it to me. I still don't think it's worth it to me. Even if I had all the money in the world, I still wouldn't go back and buy that powder. Morphe was really big on their eyeshadow palettes at this time too. So I had like four different Morphe palettes because they were like $20 each or less than that, depending if you got them on sale or not, which was really, really, really awesome because you could, you do the Black Friday deals and Christmas and Cyber Mondays and like all that stuff, right? So I would buy these products most of the time on sale, or if they had new palettes coming out, they'd be putting the old palettes on sale. So I had so many Ulta points of just like knowing when to buy things, when not to buy things. And I started collecting my makeup. So I started wearing more makeup to my regular job at this time, and I was able to get a little bit more creative with it. I started wearing different colored lipsticks, which my favorite lipsticks of all time, the Liquid Lips, Jeffree Star's liquid lipsticks are the best lipsticks I have ever had in my entire life. I still wear them to this day. I know a lot of people do not like Jeffree or are fond of them. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm still releasing like all of his products are so fucking good, it's hard not to use them. And I had so many Jeffree Star lipsticks. I still have so many Jeffree Star liquid lips because they're so good. They last so long, and the like on your lips, it's just unreal. The formula is unreal. So if any lipstick that you see in any of my photos that I've ever had, it's Jeffree Star's liquid lips. There's so many of colors of them. It stays matte, it stays on day, it doesn't rub off, it doesn't go anywhere, like, just so you guys know, that is what I wear on my lips, Jeffree Star liquid lips. So I'm diving into a lot of Jeffree's cosmetics because it's just so fucking good. So, like, I got the lipsticks, his highlighter was so fucking good. I used to buy, um the circles, they're little, like, pink big circles. There's so much product for the price. Like, that is one thing, like, him being somebody that didn't have a lot of money, he knows that no one's gonna pay out the ass for makeup, and his makeup reviews are so honest. Um, and that's what I love about it too, is, like, all of their reviews were so, so honest that you knew what products to buy and what not to buy, and that's kinda, like, what I wanted to be as a makeup YouTuber too. Like, I wanted to make sure people knew what they were getting, and I wasn't lying about it. I'm not getting paid to do this shit. I'm not reviewing products just to because somebody sent it to me. I was buying these products all on my own. Um, so at this like 9 to 5, I'm starting to like experiment with makeup more. I'm starting to like have a full face of foundation on because I'm wearing the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, the Kat Von D foundation. Those two I would not recommend. I don't like them at all. Estee Lauder's double wear was amazing. I still think it's great. My shade was bone. That's what I wore. It was flawless on my face. I thought it looked so good. It just hit my skin tone perfectly. It smelled good. It stayed on. It was long lasting. It was full coverage. It was the shit. All right. I highly recommend Estee Lauder's double wear foundation. It's great. It's great. And then, like, the foundation sticks became really popular, and Anastasia Beverly Hills released the sticks, and I had those. I fucking hated those. I don't like stick foundation. I'm a liquid foundation girly through and through. And then I discovered once Rihanna released her Fenty Beauty line in 2017, I found the holy grail of fucking foundations. And everyone's skin tone is different, but by goddamn, it's the best foundation I have ever had, and I have not used it is 2023, I have not used another foundation since then. I have been using Rihanna's Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation since it came out. Since it came out. I will not use anything different. It melts on my skin. It looks so good all fucking day. It looks good in all the lighting. It looks good in all the fucking lighting. It's just so melts with my face. It's so lightweight. It doesn't feel like you're wearing anything at all. And I'm not, obviously not fucking sponsored by Rihanna. They don't send me free shit. It's just like that is how much I love this goddamn foundation. It's so good. Like I said, been using it for over 5 years now. I just can't get over how it makes my skin feel because if you are a full face makeup girly or have worn full face makeup, you understand that that shit feels heavy and it feels like you're wearing shit on your face. Rihanna got it so right. She got it so right. So the Pro Filter Foundation 100% is a must have. If you use any liquid foundation, it's $32. It's a big container, a good amount of foundation into it for the price. So like I am willing to pay the $32 every time I need a foundation, which is, very rare because I don't go through it all the time. It just depends also how much you use it, but I whenever I put my makeup on, which is quite often, it's fucking great. If you guys get anything from this video, go out and go get yourself, go to a store. I mean, I just guessed because I've been doing this for so long. I knew what my shade was and I could just figure it out by looking at the products online and kind of guessing. I've never been wrong about that either. But go get yourself the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation. I also recommend, after all of the primers that I've used ever, and I've used so many, go get the Pro Filter Primer. It's basically the primer that goes with the foundation. Most of the times when you have foundation, guys, you want to make sure that your primer is basically the same brand of your foundation. And it's the same kind of chemical that goes with it too. So usually the brand makes sure that their primer is fit for their foundation. If you're mixing primers and foundations, you can run into the ingredient problem to where, oh, this foundation's made of this, and this primer's made of this, so it's not going to stick or melt together very well. So yeah, just always try to do that. Try to stick to the same brand of foundation as your same brand primer as your foundation. Anyways, Rihanna came out with that, and that changed my world. That was the only foundation I used. So at this time, like I said, I'm doing my normal 9 to 5 at this one job. I'm putting my makeup on early in the mornings because this job's at like 5 a.m., like I said, till like 3 p.m. I'm taking a year off from college classes at this time. It's like summer. Um, let's say it's like going into the fall of 2017 or that like summer or like whatever. Like it was around 2017 to 2018. I started making YouTube videos. And I would film and I'd make vlogs sometimes and I would like vlog my day with the person I was with at the time who's a horrible human being. Fuck that guy. Um, and I would start doing makeup reviews. So what I would do is like I would get really excited. I would watch a bunch of makeup videos and like most of the bigger YouTubers at this time would get the new products early. So they would let us know like, "Hey, here's this product. I don't really like it, or I like it because they're getting paid to say so they like it, and then they would let you know, like, "Hey, this comes out, whatever." Or you would just follow these makeup accounts on Instagram, and they would just, promote their product, like, "This is coming out, this is coming out." So you would be on your computer at, like, midnight on the dot, ready to, check out that product because it would sell out, and then you'd have to wait months and months before the company would make it again to be out again. So I stayed on top of that. I got a lot of the new makeup. I would get all of the Anastasia Beverly Hills glow kits, which were like highlighters, and they always had 4 in a little package. And I would buy like those every time they'd come out. I would buy almost every new Jeffree Star product that would come out, like whether it was I'd buy liquid lipsticks that I wanted, the colors that I wanted, or I'd buy like an eyeshadow palette from them. I would buy Morphe's eyeshadow palettes. Uh, I would buy like any of the Too Faced holiday things that come out, like any makeup like that, I was really on top of it like that. And then I would take my makeup and I would have my whole little filming set up, and I would record YouTube videos, and I would take my time to edit them and make them fun, and I would put them up on YouTube, and they're no longer available anymore. I deleted them like a couple years ago. Um, but yeah, I just, like, went on there and I did makeup. I would do makeup on camera, and I'd, like, review the product honestly, and I, like, had a good amount of people watching, and I thought that was really fun, and I had a lot of people from my hometown that would watch, and enjoy it because then that would be, like, you know, makeup that they wanted to use, and it was great. It was a great little time of me, like, really feeling like a makeup influencer and enjoying doing makeup, getting the new stuff, and, like, I had a makeup room too, one of our bedrooms, at the time because I lived with my partner at the time, the really shitty guy, and then I lived with one of my friends. She had a room, we had our own bedroom. Like, everyone kinda had their own room, so, like, my own room was my makeup room and my camming room. Um, so I had, like, the cheap, uh they were like Alex drawers from IKEA. They were like the white ones or whatever that every makeup influencer had, but I had the cheap version, which were the cheap ones on Amazon, and I used those, and I had all my makeup stored in there, and then I had all the, like, palette boxes and things that I would get from collections, like, up on shelves, and, like, that was, like, and I had my clothes in there on racks, and it was a little beauty room for myself, and I really enjoyed that. Like I said, it was also my camming room. So when I wasn't filming YouTube videos, or being at work, I was also camming on the side. So like that was also really fun because what I would do kind of in my routine was I would put my makeup on a YouTube video, um, and then maybe like do my hair if I was doing a hairstyle video or just like, I was just pretending to be a fucking beauty influencer. All right. So that's what I did. And then after that, I'd be done and I would already be ready for that night to do my camming. So I already had my makeup on, I already had my hair done, and I would just have to put an outfit on and then do my business on camming and make money that way too. So like I said, I was making a little bit of extra money to be able to spend some money on this new makeup and have this makeup last me forever. And I loved it, and it was so much fun, and that was such a great time. So it's like I'm doing all kinds of look at this point. It's like I'm doing colored eyeliner, I'm doing colored eyeshadow, like big cut creases, and I'm doing lots of highlighter, and I'm contouring like crazy and reviewing these foundations and powders, and it was so much fun to do because I was giving like tutorials of how I do my shit, and everyone does their shit differently, and it was just really nice. And that was a really like fun time for myself and an outlet for me because I was having such a miserable time in the relationship that I was in. My life was like I was in a very toxic, abusive environment. So that was like my outlet that I got to do and have fun with was my makeup. And I loved it. So after doing a little bit that for a while, and I finally broke up with my abusive ex at the time. Finally broke up with him. Um and then I kind of stopped doing the vlogs and the makeup videos and things like that. Like after being in a relationship for over 3 years, you're kind of in this aspect of like, what's next? What do I do? Blah blah blah. Like, oh, life's crazy. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I moved into an apartment by myself with my two dogs, and had to basically like figure my life out because everything I thought I was gonna do with this person, like what I was gonna do for college, what I was about to gonna go graduate with, all of this stuff was also centered around his life too. So like it was a big deal. Like I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I kind of stopped doing the makeup videos. I stopped doing that, and I kind of was just like, all I can do now is work. So this was about the time too. I was still doing camming and just kind of online sex work. And I worked at Spirit Halloween as well. We did a whole episode of that. I think it's like episode 2 or 3. It's Let Me See Your Resume. That's the podcast episode, but talks about every job I've ever had. And I worked at Spirit Halloween, and I had fun with my makeup there too. Like got to be an assistant manager, so I had to be there a little bit earlier and do a bunch of the other stuff, which was stupid and fucky wucky, and you can hear all about that. But I was there like doing my makeup. I would started to like dabble in different looks because it was like Halloween and I was like having fun with that and like the makeup of in the culture of that aspect, you know what I mean? And then I uprooted my life and went on a big journey, and here I am today, right? That's another episode I'm doing uh in a couple weeks. Conway becoming Conway. I'll go into more detail about that, but we're here to talk about makeup. So, anyways, the makeup kind of stayed the same. Kind of like the influencer makeup culture has changed from 2014 to 2023. That's literally almost 10 years, a whole decade of like just how makeup has transformed. And like, there's not a lot of makeup beauty influencers anymore, or it's the same people. Um, it's not, like, really into it on YouTube anymore. Everyone's doing TikTok tutorials or just TikTok, makeup transformations and things like that. Like, it's a different environment, and people have kind of strayed away from heavy makeup use, and we're kind of going for the what everyone calls the clean girl aesthetic, and I fucking hate that. I hate that word. I think it's gross. It gives me the ick, right? But it's like very, very bushy brows, no makeup really, the no makeup look. The no makeup look. That's the best way to describe it. It's where you look like you have no makeup on, but you actually have quite a bit of makeup on. But it's the big bushy brows, and all of the high schoolers now are using like soap to lay down their brows and make their brows bushy, or they're everyone's kind of relying more on a natural look. Some people still do their makeup crazy and cosplays and do art on their face, and I think that's so fucking cool. That's the community that like I like. I'm no natural girly on that aspect. It's like, no, I like to put a face on. I like to do colors and mess around with stuff. Even though, like I said, I'm not an artist. I wish I could like draw. Wish I could spend 7 hours of drawing a fucking mosaic on my face, but I can't. I'm just not that talented, no matter how hard I can try. Just not a bone in my body. I have a lot of creative ideas up here in this dome of mine, but I don't have anything that is like that. So, to kind of tell you guys how it's been, it's like I have literally tried almost every high-end makeup. I've tried tons of low-end makeup. I've tried cheap, expensive, name brand, non-name brand, things that were recommended, things that are hidden. Like I'm still discovering different makeup, and it's fucking wonderful. I love that. I love that I'm still discovering makeup, love putting a full face on. God, like no one loves putting makeup on, but everyone loves the way makeup looks after you get done doing your makeup. Like you know what I mean if you know what I mean. So, my makeup routine for now, I will tell you as of, June 2023. This is still what I'm doing to this day. Um First of all, gotta have a sunscreen, some sort of SPF on your face. I use a Cetaphil sunscreen. You could shove that on your face, slap it on, lather it on your skin. Then I use a setting spray. I use an e.l.f. setting spray underneath as the base. So I put the sunscreen basically on, the sunscreen lotion, SPF, just to protect your skin, and it also keeps your skin from aging as well. I put that shit on. I use my little setting spray underneath to give it a little base. And then I put my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter primer on. Put that bitch on like I've still been using it since 2017. Lather that bitch on, and then I use my setting spray once again, and then I whip out my fan and my little hand fan, and I just let that sit in my skin until it gets a tad bit tacky. And by tacky, I mean where it's like almost dry, but it still feels a little wet on your skin. That's like the perfect time. Then I take my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation, put a little globby glob of that. I take my wet beauty blender. I use the Real Technique blenders, not the actual name brand beauty blenders because they're fucking overpriced for no reason. I use the orange Real Technique sponge. All right, it works great. I've been using that since like 2017, so I think they're great. Um, and I wet it with warm water. So you wet that with warm water, and then you take it and you dab it on the makeup, and then you just put it all over your face with tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Blend it all into your skin, and then I get it all down my neck. So wherever like the start of my collarbone is, that's makeup. It's all on the side of my neck. It's here. It's like it's blended. It looks great. My foundation color matches my skin so well. You would never be able to tell. It's so fucking nice. All right. So then I do that. Then, after I put my liquid foundation on, I use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This has been very popular since 2016. I've tried all kinds of concealers. I've even tried the Revlon Twist one with a little sponge on top. I don't think it works as well. I've tried even more expensive name brand concealers. I don't think they work so well. I've tried the low end. I don't think they work so well, but the Tarte Shape Tape has never failed me. It fucking is great, especially if you get really creasy under your eyes, because that's just how my eyeballs and my skin work. So I think it's great. So I put my concealer on, my Tarte Shape Tape that is a couple shades lighter than my foundation, put that on, blend it all out, and then I take my Coty Airspun in translucent and I powder the shit out of my face, all over my face, all over my face, on my neck, because I'm an oily bitch and I can't just be like, ooh, under my eyes. Like, no, it is a matte drag queen base here, all right? Completely covered. Then after that, I will take I am now using for the longest time everyone used the Hoola bronzer from Benefit. That was like the go-to bronzer, and I've tried the Physicians Formula butter bronzer. It's too orangey with my skin. It just doesn't look very well. So I tried the Hoola Benefit bronzer light because I'm a pale bitch. The light always works my skin. And then Trixie Cosmetics came out with their bronzers, and I fucking used the shit out of the shade 1 and 3. I put shade 1 on first on my cheekbones, underneath my chin, my lip, my nose, my forehead. Perfect. Then I take the darker shade and kind of put a little more darker on the outer parts to just kind of give it some depth. That's what I use. Trixie Cosmetics bronzer. It's fucking beautiful. The formula is amazing. Wow, love it. Then I take whatever blush I'm using. Sometimes I use an eyeshadow as blush, depending on like my color palette. And other times I use Trixie's Cosmetics blush. It's fucking great too. I absolutely love it. It has two different colors and I just mix them together and I just shove it on my face and it's wonderful. So once you have your bronzer on, you have your foundation, your primer, your powder, your bronzer, your blush. Then I move over to highlighter because I still do highlighter in this day and age. Sometimes it's Trixie Cosmetics. Sometimes it's an Anastasia Beverly Hills one from like I think 2019, maybe 2018 that I still have that I use. Um, and that's kind of that. And then for my brows, obviously I take a fucking makeup wipe and I wipe off my lips and I wipe off my brows from the fucking foundation that's on me. Otherwise, it'll just makes the foundation look weird. So I do that. And then I take this brand new, I've started doing it like recently, I would say for a couple months now. This Got to Be Glue brow gel. Because if you know, Got to Be Glue has the best gel for your hair, whether you're gluing down a wig cap, or putting a wig cap on yourself, freezing your hair. It's fucking great. So they made a eyebrow gel because that's the big thing. People were using soaps. I know a lot of the bigger companies, makeup brand companies, have like actual freeze gel that they use, but the Gotta Be glue, it's like $8. It looks like a mascara tube. Um, it's brow gel, and I just rub that on, and it sticks my brows kind of up and in place so they look a little bit more bushier. Like I said, I don't have a lot of fucking eyebrow hair in the first place, so you guys could probably get away with literally not even having to do anything with your eyebrows except for just putting them up in place with the Gotta Be glue eyebrow gel. So then I let that dry a little bit, and then I use my Anastasia Beverly Hills dip pomade, and I do my eyebrows, and then I have like an eyebrow pencil or like an eyeliner, like a brown eyeliner, black eyeliner, whatever color your hair is, you can use it. And you make little hairs at the front of your eyebrows if you don't have any. I don't have any, so I got to do that. And then, since the pomade is still kind of shiny, sometimes I like to take the bronzer that I just used on my face, and since my hair is red, I'll put, like, a little bit of, bronzer in my eyebrows to kind of make them a little bit more mattifying, and they stay on longer too because not only are you putting that pomade on, you're putting a powder over it, so then it seals it. You don't have to do that, but that's what I do to make my eyebrows stay on longer, especially, like, if I'm not wearing a full face, I do that, and it just works really well. And then, I'll move over to, like, eyeshadow. So I'll do, like, whatever eyeshadow at the time. I have, um let's see, what do I have? I have a Jacqueline Hill palette. I still have one of those. It's a smaller palette that I use. I have a Prado's Beauty. They're an indigenous owned makeup company. They're fucking awesome. Their eyeshadows and their makeup is absolutely insane. Prados Beauty, go check them out. Prados Beauty. Absolutely amazing. So fucking good. I have their palette. It's so awesome. Has so many colors. I use that quite a bit. I still have my Jeffree Star palettes. I have the red one, which is like the blood sugar palette. I have the green one. I have the blue one. And those are like the ones that have all reds, all greens, all blues. So I use those whenever I have those colors in the scheme. I have the Trixie and Katya palettes. So I have both of those. And those are kind of just when you have all the colors and you have good formulas for them, you don't really got to buy any more palettes. You're kind of just rock and roll on what you have. And that's kind of what I use for eyeshadows, any of those. Um, Eyeliners, I use, so after I put my eyeshadow on, um, and before, no, after I put my eyeliner on. So I'll put my eyeliners on. I use Matte Lashes, which is a company that has. I only use their black and their white, but it's anything that has a water activated liner. It's so good. I used to use eyeliner pencils. I used to use Stila's waterproof eyeliner pencil or eyeliner liquid eyeliners. Um, I think all the liner pencils or liquid liner pins, I guess you could say pins, just don't work as well as like a water activated liner or something that's like kind of a gel in a pomade. Anything that's in a little jar, it's solid. So I use the company's called Matte Lashes. But they have lashes. I don't use their lashes. I just use their white and their black liner. Um, I use that. And then now I just got, I think like a couple days ago. So I've only had to use them a handful of times, but oh my God, they're fucking amazing. I'm obsessed with it. Gliston Cosmetics. They're a brand in the UK. Glisten. Gliston Cosmetics. They have these. I mean, they have every fucking color liner you could think of. Um, I bought the tubes because the tubes not only can be used as liner, they can be used as lipsticks, they can be used as face paint. So, like, that's what I've been using, and I can't wait to do some more, like, bigger cosplays where I wanna, like, paint my entire face green or red or purple or, like, do an ombre look for my Halloween looks this year. Like, I fucking can't wait. Last year I was having to use white face paint and then, like, put eyeshadows all over and just really blend the eyeshadows to make it look like it just looked horrible in person, but it looked fantastic on camera. That was my secret for last year. But this year, Glistens Cosmetics, it's a UK brand. It's so fucking good. They come in these tubes. It's so pigmented. It stays on. It dries quickly while you're putting it on. And you can use that to like draw on your face, eyeliners, full on face paints, whatever you need to do. But highly recommend them. I bought all of the color tubes, so like the red, orange, green, yellow, blue, purple, pink, white, brown, and black. So I have fucking like 10 or so colors now, and they're amazing. I think I paid like $60 for all of that. And they last. A little goes a long way, and I'm big on using a lot all the time, but a little goes a long fucking way. So that's what I've been using as well as like eyeliners because I'm trying to get into more colorful eyeliners. And then after I put my eyeliner on, I spray my face with Urban Decay's All Nighter. I really need to buy the Dermablends face spray. I need to buy Krylon's face spray. I need to buy anything other than the Urban Decay setting spray. I've just been using it for so long and I still have a bottle, so I've just been trying to run out of it before and then like try to order something else. Um but like that just it's is so good on my face. That's like what I use, right? And I've tried so many face sprays. I tried the Morphe face sprays. I don't think they work as well as the Urban Decay one does. I heard that the Dermablend one works really well and the Krylon works really well because the Krylon is what drag queens use. So I was like, oh, I could use that. And then I heard Patrick Starr's one size fits all makeup brand. His setting spray works really well. So I was like, oh, fuck, maybe I want to try that. I don't know. I'm still like, whatever. But so once I do my full face, I put my eyeliner on. Before I do my mascara lashes, spray your whole fucking face with setting spray. Spray it down. Get yourself wet. Get yourself a little hand fan and just fan your face and let it just sit in until it is completely dry. Then I will put my top lash mascara on. Only your top lash mascara. Why, Conway? Well, I'll tell you why. Only the top mascara on your top lashes, because if you put them on your bottom lashes and then you're trying to, like, put your fake lashes on if you wear fake lashes, the bottom lashes get all over your fucking, uh, eyes because you're, like, looking down and you're moving your eyes around for the fucking lashes, alright? Top lashes only. Put your mascara on first. Alright? Then, the lashes I've been using for the past 4 years now has been Hell Bites Beauty. They are the only lashes I have used in 4 years. I think when I'm doing like cosplay ones, or if I'm wearing makeup that's gonna get my lashes a little gross, or if I'm, getting a facial, and I don't want to ruin a good pair of lashes, I use Hell Bites Beauty. And they're my favorite. Serpent is my favorite style. Envy is also my favorite style. But holy shit, if you struggle with lashes, definitely try these. It's not sponsored anyway, nothing like this. None of this shit is. I just really like these products and I want you guys to know it as well. But Hell Bites Beauty is a small business. Their lashes are so fucking good. I don't know what's in it. It's like, it's insane. I have tried so many lashes. I used to wear Eylur's Curly Queen, Jasmine's Curly Queen, yeah, Eylur's, whatever her name was, Jasmine something, in this style Curly Queen. Those were like the lashes I used all of the time. I don't really use those anymore. I still have them sometimes, like, because when you have a lot of makeup and then you just don't use them, it just, yeah, I still have some left over that I use. I would say I haven't worn them in years. Ever since I discovered Hell Bites Beauty, I haven't worn them. And then I have like what I call my cosplay lashes, which are if I'm doing a look that I know is gonna get messy or just kind of throwaway lashes, I buy like Amazon lashes, just really cheap, pack of 25 that I used to use in college. I use those when I know I'm about to take them right off and throw them in the trash. But when I'm doing a look, which is most of the time when I'm doing a real look, Hell Bites Beauty, usually Serpent or Envy. Those are the styles I wear. I mean, I have the big, big, big ones, and I have the really small ones. I've bought them for friends before. My friends have said they loved them. And those are people who don't wear false lashes all the time. But somebody who has like been through so many false lashes, I have an sensitivity problem. So the Kiss uh aloe vera sensitive eye glue. It's the only eye glue I use. I take my Hell Bites Beauty lashes, I trim them to the size, and even if you don't need to trim them because your eyes are big or they just fit automatically, take some scissors, some like tiny scissors if you have them, and cut the very ends off of the tabs where the like little bottom part of the lashes that you put on your eye. Cut that off the ends so you don't have a little thing poking you in the eye. That's the biggest issue everyone has that they don't fucking do. That will save you time. You'll be able to put your lashes on no problem. All right. So I put my lashes on. They're fucking great. And then once you put the glue on, wait 45 seconds before you shove your eyelash on your eye. People always do that too. People will apply lashes with wet glue and then wonder why their lashes won't stay on. I still have a little issues with my lashes sometimes because I have such sensitive eyes. Sometimes my lashes want to be on and sometimes my eyes water so bad because they just don't like anything on their face, so it fucks up my whole makeup, you know? I'm getting, whatever. But most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, um, people mess up is because they put too much glue on and the glue's still wet and they put it on their eye and it won't stick. And then they're like, well, I can't do false lashes. That's your reason. Cut your lashes, put them on, let the glue dry 45 seconds to a minute, let it get tacky, then shove that bitch on, and then your lashes will stay and you'll have no fucking issues. All right. So then once those are on, I squeeze my lashes together with my fake lashes. I do a little squeezy on my eyes. And only then, I will put on my bottom mascara. The bottom mascara is the very last thing I will do, like on my face, pretty much. But because if you're moving around your eyes or your eye waters a little bit, even if you have waterproof mascara and you just put the mascara on and your falsies fuck up, you're getting that mascara on your bottom on your fucking cheekbone there. It's just it's running. It's gross. It sucks. Then you got to redo and you're like, I fucked up my makeup, blah blah. Been there, done that. I'm trying to save you some time. All right. So that's that. And then I put on my lipstick, whether it's a Trixie Cosmetic lipstick or it's anything Jeffree Star Cosmetics liquid lip in any fucking shade because I pretty much have all the colors. That's what I use. That's what I use. I don't use a lip liner. I kind of overline my lips a little bit. I used to get made fun of all the time for overlining lips, but once I got lip injections, um, that just worked for me. I just have big lips now too, which is lovely. I need to get them redone this year because it's been like 2 years since I've got them done. Um, but anyways, I put my liquid lip on and then I like rub my lips together and then it kind of marks the height of where I want my lipstick to go. So then I just fill it in some more and then I got boom juicy lips. Boom, ta-da, done. And then that lipstick stays on forever and I don't really use lip liners and then that's literally the end of my makeup routine. And that's all. And those are the products I use and what I like and what I don't like and I can't wait to discover more makeup. But yeah, holy shit. That's a rambling. So if you made it this far, congratulations. I don't know how, but you must have wanted to really listen to the makeup that I've used and haven't used and everything. And like I said, I've tried everything under the sun. When I'm telling you this is the product you should use, it's probably the fucking product you should use. If you have really dry skin, I probably wouldn't recommend a full face or a liquid foundation. Um, or even a powder foundation if your face is really, really, really dry. My face is oily, so that's why I do all the steps that I do and why I use so much powder and all that shit. So yeah, it's a very much a trial and error. Makeup is whatever you want it to be. You can literally wear it and do whatever you feel like. You don't have to. There's no rules in makeup, and anybody who tells you there's rules in makeup is full of shit. Like fuck those people. I spent most of my life getting made fun of people like that. And now I'm having more fun experimenting with makeup. I'm trying to get more into doing more extensive makeup even though it doesn't look like it. Like for me, it's a little bit harder. I'm just doing little techniques that are different. I'm trying little things. Sometimes I'll add freckles all over my face cuz my freckles don't show up under my makeup once I put it all on. So I add little freckles on my face. I've been doing that since like 2018. Um And it's fun. It's always fun to like experiment. And now in a day and age, like people are more accepting of people wearing makeup. People compliment people's makeups more. Like people are a lot more friendly when it comes to like all the makeup. People just enjoy it. It is like a form of art when people can do it really good, or it just looks smooth and nice. And don't gatekeep makeup. Always tell your tips and tricks and do what you can, because it took me years to learn, and I've been doing it, since I was like 13, 12, just learning, looking at older people and being like, oh, that's what they do, the cool kids. And now learning from, YouTube and makeup tutorials that actually exist now, little TikTok videos that teach me something new. There's all kinds of people out there. Just find what you like and don't be afraid to do it. Just enjoy it. It's makeup. It washes off at the end of the fucking day. What's the worst that you can do? You go wear it out one day, no matter what gender you are. You at least had fun. It's great. Makeup's for everyone. When I say that, makeup is for everyone and anyone. You don't have to be a fucking girl to wear makeup. I'm so sick of that too. Makeup is literally for everyone. It's so unique and a beautiful art form, and I think it's so fucking cool when people wear makeup, because it's like they wanted to and at least they tried. But people who make fun of people for wearing makeup, fuck those people. Fuck the mascara chapstick bitches, because those are the ones who make fun of people with full faces. Fuck you guys. And fuck men. Don't believe what men say. Straight men, fuck them. They don't have an opinion on our fucking face. All right? All right? Oh, okay. So that's enough of me ranting. Like I said, an episode by myself. These next few are gonna be episodes of just Conway show. So I hope that's okay with you guys. I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you found this week's secret passcode, it's gonna be a little lipstick emoji. That's pretty kind of unspoken right there. You can leave that in the comments down below or wherever you would like. This is also sad. I always sit there and go, "Oh, you can Stoney, where can we find you?" But I don't get to do that time. But you guys can find Stoney at Stoney Robbins _ on pretty much any platform. You guys can find me at conwaytitty.com. That is conwaytitty.com. We're streaming a bunch of games. We're playing them games. I got all my sites there. If you want to check out my makeup too, you can check it out on Instagrams or the Twitters or wherever it is. You know what I mean. Um, but other than that, thank you for letting me just ramble and rant to you guys. I know it's gonna be a little weird without hearing Stoney's voice. But go tell him you miss him and you can't wait to have him back. Other than that, I will leave you guys at that. I hope you learned something in this makeup video. If you have any products you think I should try, also feel free to please tell me, because oh, excuse me, I burped. Please feel free to tell me, because I love knowing different products and things, and just what your guys' tips and tricks are. But other than that, I've been your host, Conway Titty, and I will see you next time. All right? All right. Take care, stay hydrated, and I'll see you later.